busy moving in somewhere right now. I'm trying to multitask here. I am the one who knocks. Okay, I'm just gonna give it a few moments here on YouTube. But yeah, also I got one person watching on YouTube right now. If you are watching on YouTube, say who you are, because I don't know. Actually, I don't know if it's me. EMH9988 has joined the Instagram. You should join the YouTube though. That's where you see all the my graphics that I made, and you'll see what I'm talking about. So I'm gonna be looking like this while I'm going, because this is my phone. I'll kind of show you guys what I got going on here. How do I switch the? Alright, so this is what I got going on, but I got to set my phone in between these two weights. Oh, pause for a second, my bad. Daniel Berg is in watching me. Daniel is the biggest fan. Yes, he is. He's also the other owner, I guess you could say. Alright, Crespo's in. Let's go. Yeah, but if you're on the... You guys on here, you're not going to be able to see what I'm talking about on Instagram. This is what I got going on, so I can see the YouTube feed, but this is what I'm going to be doing. So if you want to see what I'm talking about, I'm going to do a live PFF mock draft on the YouTube, and I'll be able to see the chat. But okay, just join the YouTube, Gage. Cool. Alright, cool. Oh, Daniel's texting me on Snapchat. I'm not going to be able to open it, Daniel. Also, people on YouTube. Oh, Daniel's biggest fan. Okay, I'm just going to start. I'm a little confused on everything here. Okay, so I'm looking this way. What's up, guys? It's Cole from 906 Detroit, and today I'm doing my NFL mock draft guide, or not mock draft, NFL draft guide. I got, what do I got? I got my top 30 big board, my positional rankings big board, and then my individual positional ranking big board, and then I got my Lions mock draft, and I'm going to do a full NFL first round mock draft on PFF. And then we'll wrap it up, and I'll go on FanDuel, and we'll look at all the betting props they got for the draft tomorrow night. So, I guess first we will get in to my big board and see if you can see my face. Okay, so I'm going to have to zoom this in. I can't see the YouTube chat right now. Oh, wait, yeah, I can see. I can close YouTube. Never mind. So I can't see your comments. Okay, so for my big board, I got Bryce Young, #1 overall. Even though he is kind of small, I do think he is the best quarterback. He won the Heisman last year, and he was in the Heisman race this year. And really, he is arguably the best quarterback, and I don't even know any of the receivers he had this year. He had Jameson Williams last year, and they probably would have won the national title if he didn't get hurt. But I don't know. I think Bryce Young is definitely the best quarterback prospect. What's up, Kai and Jared in the Instagram chat? You should go on YouTube, though. See what I'm talking about. I got Jalen Carter at 2. I got him above Will Anderson because Will Anderson actually didn't play as good this year than he did last year. That's because they moved him inside a little bit at Alabama. But I think Jalen Carter overall is just a little more consistent. He was in the national title game. He's a 2-time national champion. He's been the best player on that defense the last 2 years. I'm going to get more into this, especially with the first round mock. I'll go through more of it when I say teams picking who and whatnot. But Stroud I got at 4, Bijan at 5. I think he's the best offensive weapon in this draft outside of quarterbacks. I don't know why people are hating on CJ Stroud. I mean, the dude in college was way better than Levis and Richardson. I don't know why or how, if you guys don't know, Will Levis is the highest, has the best odds going number 2 overall right now, which I find crazy. Witherspoon at 6, Tyree Wilson. I think he's got the most potential out of defensive players this draft. He's probably the most freak of nature athlete. Peter Skoronski, really versatile guard / tackle out of Northwestern. Christian Gonzalez, and then Will Levis. And I actually have Will Levis over Anthony Richardson. I think he is better. And then Myles Murphy is someone that I have at number 11. He's kind of low on a lot of people's big boards, but I think he's going to go early. Paris Johnson Jr. Oh, yeah, Crespo, you just said. No, I think Will Levis is actually the favorite at number 2. Unless I'm mistaken. I'm going to look at that later. That's the last thing I'll do in this live stream. Jackson Smith and his Najigba at number 14. Then Lucas Van Ness. I'm not going to go into too much detail right now, but 16, Brian Branch. 17, Kalijah Cansey. Another guy that some people have really low, some people are really high. I got him right in the middle. He's a little undersized for a D tackle, but he is a really good pass rusher. I don't know if he's really a 3-down lineman in the NFL, but I definitely think he probably will be good. Nolan Smith is another guy that a lot of people have high. I've seen him go as high as number 8 to Atlanta. Only thing problem with him for me, he is a little undersized for a defensive end. And then Deonte Banks, which Crespo in the chat is high on. He's Crespo's 3rd overall corner. I got Porter above him. I think Porter's just a little bit more better. He is taller. He's 2 inches taller, a little bit longer arms. Jared, what's up? He's plus 400 to go number 1, if I remember. Yeah. Will Levis was plus 400 yesterday to go number 1. Crazy because someone on Reddit said that he was telling everyone back in his hometown that the Panthers said they're drafting him, which is crazy how fast the sportsbook will act on it and switch. Eric Hansen, you have a bat in the cave. Do I have a? No, I don't. You're lying. Swode, yes, Deonte Banks is a stud. I'd rather have Gonzalez or Witherspoon. Yeah, I would too. I think Gonzalez and Witherspoon probably aren't going to get out of the top 10. I think their technique's just a little bit better. But yeah, I'll get into that. Darnell Wright and Broderick Jones, 22 and 23. Quentin Johnston, number 24. He's a guy I'm not really sure where he's going to fall. I actually had a dream the Lions took him last night at number 6, and I was very upset. Brian Brisset, 25. Osiris Torrance, 26. Michael Mayer. And I forgot Dalton Kincaid at 20. Tight end out of Utah. Felix Anudike Uzoma, Zay Flowers, and Jordan Addison. So that's my top 30 overall. I'm going to go by positional now. So this is my positional board offense. I'm probably going to have to cough all this live stream. I'm kind of getting sick right now. But for quarterbacks, yeah, I got Bryce Young, Stroud, Levis, and Richardson. I kind of just went over that. I actually thought about putting Hendon Hooker over Anthony Richardson. I do not think Anthony Richardson is that good. He threw for 53 completion percentage rate in college this year. He's only really played 1 year. This is the only year he's played. He only played, I think, 6 games 2 years ago. Oh, what's up, Monzo? Monzo joined the Instagram live. You should join the YouTube, though, so you can see what I'm talking about. I'm talking about this. But I just got my Instagram going. But if you guys could put in the comments, how is the video? Like, is it laggy? Is my voice matching up with the sound or with my lips? But yeah, Hendon Hooker, number 5. Hendon Hooker threw 58 touchdowns and 5 interceptions his last 2 years at Tennessee. I thought about putting him over 4. I'm not sure if he's going to go in the first round or not. I think he definitely could. I don't know too much about Tanner McKee, but I did throw him up there. I think Stroud even. I've seen him higher than Bryce Young on some. I've seen him higher than Young on some big boards. But I'll go on to running backs. Bijan Robinson out of Texas. I don't know where this guy is going to land. I've seen him go as high as number 6 to the Lions, which I really hope doesn't happen. Now, if certain people are gone by 6, I guess it wouldn't be the end of the world if Bijan went. But I'm more looking for Bijan at 18, or if we did move up and pick him in the late teens. Jahmyr Gibbs, his draft stock's been rising a ton out of Alabama. He's kind of like Bijan. He's just a little bit shorter. I think he's 5'9", but he's really explosive. But he's either going probably late 20s, early 30s from what I've seen lately. I don't know much about these three guys here. I just looked on PFF, and these guys were projected to go third or second round. But I do have someone that I'm going to talk about later that I think is in this 6th spot, who I think is going to be a sleeper in this pick or in this draft. At wide receiver, Jackson Smith-Njigba. I don't think this is really a question to anyone. From Ohio State. He did get hurt this year, but 2 years ago, he had Chris Olave. He had Garrett Wilson. Yeah, Jared, I could see the Lions trading Swift away. That's actually been talked about the last few days. There's been rumors Swift's going to go, but yeah, Jackson Smith, he led Ohio State in receiving yards 2 years ago. He had 1,500, and that was more than Olave and Garrett Wilson, who was the Rookie of the Year last year. And I think Marvin Harrison was playing too, and he led all those guys. He just got hurt this year. He didn't play in the bowl game. I don't know how I feel about that. Players not playing in the bowl game. But it wasn't just a bowl game. They were playing in the college football semifinal, and he didn't play. And they almost won that game. If he plays, they might win that game. They might be national champs because they were going to beat TCU. So I don't know how Ohio State feels about him not playing. I think that might have cost them a national title. I never really thought about that. But, yeah, I think he's going to be really good. I think he's definitely probably going to go top 15. Quentin Johnston, the guy out of TCU that Michigan fans have nightmares over. I think he broke off for a 70-yard touchdown or something against Michigan. He's 6'3". He's really speedy. Actually, I don't know if he's too speedy, but I think he's pretty fast for his size. I think the only problem I've seen on reviews of him is he's not the best at like contested catches. But Mike was going to shut off. But I don't think he's the best at contested catches or something they said. But I think he will go too just based off his frame, or he'll be the second receiver taken. Zay Flowers out of Boston College. He's 5'9". He's really shifty, and apparently he's got good route running. Apparently he can make anyone miss. He's been rising up in draft boards. I've seen Steve Smith talking about him. Jordan Addison out of USC, and then Jalen Hyatt and Josh Downs out of North Carolina. Tight ends is actually a really good tight end class. I like all of them, really. Dalton Cade out of Utah is a great receiving tight end. Michael Mayer is a great blocking tight end. Kind of your average build or ideal build for a tight end, Michael Mayer. Those two are projected to probably go first round. Darnell Washington. I don't know if you guys ever watched Georgia, but he's number 0 on their offense. He looks like a lineman playing tight end. It's actually insane. He's not even their best tight end. What's his name? Brock Bowers. He's probably going to be a really high pick next year for Georgia. He's their starting tight end. But Darnell Washington is humongous. I would not be upset if the Lions took him in the second round. The dude is huge. I think he's mainly a blocking tight end, but I know he's got hands too. I just think he's kind of slow. Sam Laporta out of Iowa. I'm pretty sure Iowa's the tight end university of college. That's where Hawkinson came out of and George Kittle came out of. So usually Iowa's always got good tight ends. Laporta's projected to go second or third round, and then Luke Musgrave out of Oregon State is projected to go in those rounds as well. Tackles, I got Peter Skoronski, number 1, and he might not have the best build for a tackle, but he's the most versatile lineman in this draft. A lot of people are saying he can play guard, or he's going to be a guard in the NFL, a really good one. He's kind of got short arms. That's the only thing about him, is he's got really short arms, and if you're a tackle, apparently they want you to get your arms out. But Skoronski, he only let up 6 quarterback pressures this year in the entire season. I think he's going to probably be the first tackle off the board just because of his versatility. And I mean, he has proven he is a good tackle. Paris Johnson Jr. has got the best build for a tackle in this draft. He's like 330 pounds and he's got good feet. I think the only thing that I seen with him was I was watching a review video of him is that he doesn't have the best hands. He tends to get like his hands really out far wide instead like in their pads. Broderick Jones and Darnell Wright. Broderick Jones was probably the best tackle in the SEC, and he was on that championship Georgia offense. So that's why I got him at number 3. Darnell Wright. Now, the thing with Darnell Wright is that he only has played right tackle, and when he did play left tackle, he did have some problems. But the reason his draft stock has went up so high because when they played Alabama this year, if you guys remember, they did beat Alabama, and his film against Will Anderson that game was great. He played phenomenal against Will Anderson. That's why he's kind of risen. I think he probably will go first round. I've seen him go as the second tackle taken, actually. I don't think he will do that. And then 5 and 6, Anton Harrison and DeJuan Jones from Ohio State. And then guards, it's really not that deep of a guard class, but I don't know how good of a guard class you can really get. I think it's kind of hard. But Osiris Torrance, I haven't really looked much into him, but he is projected to go first round, early second out of Florida. He actually played at Louisiana, whatever the Raging Cajuns are. That's where he played in college. And then he transferred to Florida last year, and he actually produced better numbers and like run blocking grade. But he's number 1. I don't know much about Steve Avila except he was on that TCU team that made the national championship. And then Chandler Zavala, when I first started going on PFF a few months ago, he was like ranked in the 150, 160 overall. And I always picked him to the Lions. And then recently he's jumped to like 70 on PFF. But that's my offense of positional big board. So now we can go to the defense. So I'll start off with edge, Will Anderson Jr. I think it's hard not to say this guy is the best edge. Some people are saying Tyree Wilson, but you got to go with Will Anderson. I mean, if he could have got drafted last year, he would have went number 1 overall. It wouldn't have been Trayvon Walker. It wouldn't have been Aiden Hutchinson. It would have been Will Anderson. Now, he did switch. He played a little bit more inside this year, so his numbers weren't as good. I think that's the only concern with people. And then obviously he doesn't have the upside as Tyree Wilson. Tyree Wilson is like 6'6", 275 pounds, and he's insanely fast for his size. The only concern is he has like a foot injury he's dealt with in college. And I think he might have just had surgery on it again. But and the thing with Tyree Wilson is this year he had 50 quarterback pressures this year. He got pressure on the quarterback 50 times. Myles Murphy, number 3. He's been pretty good at Clemson overall through his whole career. The last 2 years, he's had 75 pressures on the quarterback the last 2 years. So that's kind of just how I have Tyree Wilson ahead of him. Tyree's had 50 this single year. Myles Murphy's had 3. Or Myles Murphy has had 75 these last 2 years. So I think Tyree Wilson. But Myles Murphy reminds me a lot of Tyree Wilson, kind of like the really tall, quick, lean guy that had the ceiling on the guy is really high. And then Lucas Van Ness out of Iowa. I really like this guy. He's got a crazy bull rush. He can push. He pushed Paris Johnson. There was a play I seen on film, but he absolutely destroyed Paris Johnson on some plays. The only problem with him is he's kind of one-dimensional. If he doesn't get his bull rush, he's not as good. But he is really quick for his size. And sometimes he lines up as like, maybe not as outside backer, but like as an edge on the outside, and he'll drop into coverage. And we could definitely use like a kind of a guy like that in our team, I feel like, for Detroit. Nolan Smith out of Georgia. Another guy, like I said earlier, I have seen go super high, all the way up to 8, just because of his quickness. He ran a 4.39 at the NFL Combine. That is insane. He ran a 4.39. That's faster than some DBs. Probably a lot of the DBs. Honestly, I think most of these DBs over here ran like a 4.3, mid 4.3, lower 4.4s. Like, so he's the speed of a defensive back as a edge rusher, but He is undersized. He's like 225 pounds or something. And it kind of reminds me of James Houston from the Lions. Obviously, James Houston wasn't a prospect like Nolan Smith, but Nolan Smith is insane. He can get his pad level really low, and he's insanely fast. I just don't know if he's going to be necessarily a 3-down lineman in the NFL. And then Felix Anudike Uzoma. I don't know much about these next two guys. They were the next two highest. Their stats were the best from what I've seen, but they're projected to go second round. Linebackers, Jack Campbell. I love Jack Campbell. He is your ideal linebacker, I feel like, coming out of this draft. Some people say Drew Sanders. I was listening to Woodward Sports this morning, and a couple guys said they prefer Drew Sanders over him, but I don't know. I mean, Jack Campbell, he's big, he's quick, he hits, he's good in coverage. The only thing is his speed a little bit, but I don't think speed at linebacker is necessarily that important unless, you're covering someone in the slot. Jeez, sorry. Trenton Simpson out of Clemson is kind of like Myles Murphy and Tyree Wilson, but as a linebacker. He is insane of an athlete. He is insane. I just heard he's kind of stupid. Honestly, I heard he's kind of stupid and he needs a lot of help. Daiyan Henley out of Washington State. She's on the smaller side. That's why I have him down here. But apparently he's really great in coverage and he's a great tackler. He's just kind of undersized. So that's why I'm at 4. But he's actually on PFF. He's ranked as the highest graded linebacker. I just think his size, he's kind of smaller, and he's from Washington State. So I don't know. I think I'd rather take a chance on Trenton Simpson out of Clemson. And then Dorian Williams out of Tulane. He was the next highest guy. Safeties, Brian Branch. I don't really think this is a deep safety class at all. Brian Branch out of Alabama. I do love Brian Branch. It's the only safety I really like in this draft. He's super versatile. He plays in the nickel a lot. He's a great tackler. Apparently, he has great on-the-field leadership. He's just a student of the game. I could see the Lions taking him if we don't re-sign C.J. Gardner-Johnson because we only have him on a year contract. And then really, I don't know much about their other safeties. I know Jordan Battle. Yeah, Daniel, he is kind of stupid. That's what I've heard. He's kind of stupid, Trenton Simpson. But Jordan Battle, I mean, you can't really go wrong, I feel like, with an Alabama safety. Well, he's the other Alabama safety. But he might be my second guy. And then going on to the interior, obviously Jalen Carter is the number one. I think he's the number one defensive player in this draft by far. Well, maybe not by far, but he's definitely the number one interior defensive lineman. And then Kalijah Cansey, I think, is number 2. It's just the thing with Cansey is he's kind of undersized. He has the most sacks out of the interior defensive lineman. He had I don't know how many sacks he had, 9 this year. That's a lot for an interior defensive lineman. He's been compared to Aaron Donald, which I don't think is fair. I mean, Aaron Donald's one of the best defensive tackles to ever do it. So I don't know if you can really compare him, but Aaron Donald was actually from Pittsburgh and undersized coming in to the NFL. I don't really know where Cansey's going to fall. I could see him going really high. I could see him going really low. I could see him not even getting drafted in the first round. I'm not really sure. He didn't have any top 30 visits, which was kind of weird to any teams. And then Brian Bresee out of Clemson. Another guy projected to go late first round, maybe early second. I talked about Brian Bresee, I think in that other podcast I talked about, where I remember videos of him as a kid just absolutely punishing people like my size on a football field, just slamming them, ripping their helmets off. Crazy. I don't know about ripping their helmets off, but that dude is nuts. I don't know how good he'll be in the NFL. Mazi Smith out of Michigan. I really don't know much about Mazi Smith. I don't even really remember his name being called this year when I watch Michigan games, but apparently he's been rising on people's draft stocks. Some people got him going in the first round. And then Keanu Benton out of Wisconsin, he's projected to go second round. All right, so on cornerbacks. Devon Witherspoon out of Illinois, he's the favorite to go to Detroit at number 6. I like him just because of how feisty he is. He's a dog. The only thing, he's just a little grabby, which doesn't really translate the best in the NFL. You kind of get away with it a little bit more in college. He is a little grabby. And then Christian Gonzalez. I mean, I could honestly flip these two. The only thing with Christian Gonzalez is he's not good in the run sport. Where Devon Witherspoon is, go watch Devon Witherspoon highlights. He hits the living crap out of people. Look at the first play against Indiana. He takes his running back's head off. And then he oh, what's up? Kiwi is in the Instagram live stream. Join the YouTube, Kiwi. It's so you can see all the stuff I'm talking about. Otherwise, you're just going to see my face. But Deonte Banks, I have at third over Joey Porter. I switched that last night. But I think I might not have switched on my big board. Reason being is Deonte Banks is a little quicker than Joey Porter. And Joey Porter's kind of like Witherspoon where he grabs a little bit. Emmanuel Forbes out of Mississippi State. The dude's just a ball hawk. Emmanuel Forbes has 6 pick sixes in college. The only thing is he's kind of skinny. He's 160 pounds. I'm sure he's trying to gain weight, but I'm 160 pounds. But he's like 6 foot or 5'11" or something like that. But I mean, I'm 160 pounds. I would get destroyed. I know I'm not an NFL player. I'm not nearly as good as him, but 160 pounds? I don't know. He's kind of lanky. If he puts on some weight, this dude could be really good. And then I got Cam Smith out of South Carolina, who I really like a lot. I could see him getting drafted in the first round. I don't see a lot of mocks where he gets drafted, but the dude is kind of reminds me of Devon Witherspoon. Not as good, but like guys that like that chip on his shoulder a little bit. I think he's pretty good. And then Kelee Ringo, who for a while I feel like when anyone was talking about the draft, was Kelee Ringo was considered like was going to be the number one corner in this draft class. And then Jameson Williams kind of burnt him in the national championship 2 years ago. And then I think he was kind of getting torched by Marvin Harrison this year. So he's kind of fallen off. I think he'll go in the second round, probably late 30s. And then Tyreek Stevenson out of Miami. I do like him. He plays on the outside a lot, and he is good in press coverage, and he's really good at tackling. So those are my top 8 corners. This is a really deep corner class. So, I mean, I don't know how I feel about the Lions taking a corner. I know Devon Witherspoon is the favorite right now, but I wouldn't mind taking a guy in the second round. So that is it for my big board. And next I'm going to do my Detroit Lions mock draft, and then I'm going to do a full Lions mock or full first round mock draft, and then I'm going to do best bets. So let's get in to this Detroit Lions mock draft. Now I'm gonna how I want to do this. I'm gonna put who I pick, and then I'm not really gonna explain how they fall there. I'll do that in the first round mock, but I will show you guys how I think it. Maybe not how I think it's gonna go down tomorrow, but who I hope the Lions get tomorrow. So starting off, Jalen Carter. Look how good he looks in that Lions jersey. I forgot who made this edit. Some guy in Instagram. Actually, Daniel, you're the one that put this on Canva. But Jalen Carter. I do think he is going to follow us tomorrow. I'll get into that with the first round mock, but the dude is an absolute beast. We need someone on this defensive line. Our run defense was terrible last year. Our defense in general was terrible. We've addressed the secondary in this offseason. We need to address the defensive line. Hutchinson was the most double-teamed defensive lineman last year. Aiden Hutchinson was the most double-teamed defensive lineman last year in the whole NFL. We need someone like Jalen Carter on the interior taking up those double teams. The only guys we got right now is Isaiah Buggs and Aleem McNeil, which I do like Aleem McNeil, but we need some more depth. And I think if Carter does fall to us, which I do think he will, we have to take him. I don't think it's really an option. I don't really care about his character issues. I think he's going to be just fine. But I do think he goes to us tomorrow. I'll get into that a little bit more. And then at pick 18, I got Lucas Van Ness out of Iowa. Like I mentioned before, I want to upgrade the defense. I really don't want to take anyone on offense unless it was Bijan Robinson at 18, which I don't think Bijan's going to fall to 18, or if we traded up and got him. like I said, Lucas Van Ness, he can play kind of inside or outside. Not like a defensive tackle, but he can line up in the inside of a tackle and go in. Um, he's really quick and he's super strong. He's got this bull rush that he just plows people back. The only thing is he's kind of one-dimensional, but I think he can fix that, especially with Hutchinson. He can learn from him a little bit. They're kind of like the same. I think Hutchinson's a little bit, obviously, was a better prospect, but Van Ness can fall back into coverage at times, which I do like because our linebackers aren't the best. So if he could take a few steps back and play as a linebacker, that'd be nice. Another guy I would love is Myles Murphy. I think he's going to go higher. I don't think he's going to be there, but if Myles Murphy was here, I'd probably take him over Van Ness. But I think realistically, Van Ness could be there more likely than Murphy. But I do like Van Ness a lot. And then for my third pick, I know, 2 Iowa dudes back to back. Oh, my phone's falling. But it might be 2 Iowa guys back to back, but I mean, come on. I think Jack Campbell's the best linebacker in this draft. Now, I put a question mark there. We are picking at round 248. I don't think Campbell's going to fall that far. He could. He has in some mocks I've seen, but I would love to trade up and get this guy somehow. I would absolutely love if we traded up and got Jack Campbell. He is exactly what we need. I like Rodriguez. He's a little undersized. He's not really a 3-down linebacker, I feel like, where I think Campbell could be the future like captain of this defense. Learned behind Anzalone, a veteran for a year, but he's got the perfect build. He tackles. He's good in coverage. He's not the quickest, but you don't really need that at linebacker. We're not asking you to go out there and cover Tyreek Hill in the slot. Asking you to fill the gap and play good zone coverage, which he does. He's my number one prospect. I hope we trade up for this guy. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. How is this looking? If you think this is crap, let me know. But my other pick, I talked about him earlier, Tyrique Stevenson out of Miami. Now, I don't have, obviously, a cornerback going the top 3 picks, so I waited till pick 55, and I got Tyrique Stevenson. Like I said earlier, he was, I think, my 8th ranked corner. I mean, there's so many good corners, but he's really good on the outside. He's good in press, and he's good in run support. Now, Emmanuel Moseley is coming off that injury. I think he tore his ACL. I don't even know if he's going to be ready for week 1. I think he is, but I think it would just be nice to get another solid corner in this draft. I don't want to wait too late, but I mean, even 55 might be too late, but Tyrique Stevenson was there when I was doing my mock. I would love to have him just to kind of swap in with Moseley if Moseley's struggling a little bit. We got Stevenson in there, and like I said, Moseley's only under a year contract, and CJ Gardner-Johnson's only under a year contract. So I would like to grab a cornerback in this draft. I think Stevenson would be a good second round draft pick for us. And then lastly, probably gonna get crap for this, but I do got Jayden Reed out of Michigan State. People might say this might be a reach, which it kind of is a reach, but I mean he's going like 90s in most mock draft, like in the 90s somewhere. So is 81 really a reach? I absolutely love Jayden Reed. Yes, I am a homer for Michigan State. That's probably why I'm picking him. But also, don't get me wrong, this dude I feel like can stretch the field. He can play in the slot. He's really versatile. He's great in contested catches. Go look up at his highlights. I mean, I can think of probably 5 off the top of my head against Michigan, against Penn State, against Wisconsin. What else do he have? I don't know. I'm thinking 3 right now. But I know he has more contested catches than that. But go look up his highlights. He is a beast. He's great at contested catches. He can stretch the field and punt returning. Don't let me forget about that. The dude is insane at returning punts. This dude, I would draft him just for special teams. I think he had like 3 return touchdowns while I was in college. I just think the dude's an electric player, and I would love to have him on this team. And our wide receiver room is really pretty shallow right now. J-Mo's gone. We lost Cephas, who's been dealing with injuries, but now he's gone. So right now, I mean, we're looking at Marvin Jones on the outside, Amon-Ra St. Brown on the inside, Josh Reynolds, and then Kalif Raymond. I mean, I love Kalif Raymond. He's Iron Man, but I'm telling you, I think Jaden Reed. Daniel, you are crazy if you think Ronnie Bell is greater or better than Jaden Reed. That is a crazy statement. No. Ronnie Bell might not even get drafted. No. Jaden Reed, I would love to have Jaden Reed as I'm drinking a Michigan State coffee mug. That was kind of quick, but I didn't go the 5th round and the 6th round picks because you can't even just predict what they're going to do. Oh, wait. I did want to talk about one, but I left it out. It's in my PDF. I'm going to release my PDF draft guide, which has like a ton of crap on it. I'm not going through over all of it, but Deuce Vaughn out of Kansas State, the running back. He is 5'5", but the dude is explosive. He runs the ball so hard. And the first time I watched him was against TCU in the Big 12 championship game. Go watch his highlights. The last 2 years at Kansas State, he's ran for 1,500 yards. Drinking the MSU Kool-Aid out of an MSU cup. No, but seriously, go look up Deuce Vaughn highlights. The dude is an absolute beast out of Kansas State. Super quick, really explosive. If we could pick this guy up in the 5th round, I think it's an absolute steal. I would love to have him on this team. He's not obviously a 3-down back, but on 3rd downs or 3rd and longs or just throwing him in when somebody gets tired, the dude is really explosive. I know he's 5'5", but I love the way he runs the ball. That's in my draft guide that I'm going to release. I have all the late round picks in that one. I just didn't want to put it on here. All right. So what did I want? Oh, yeah. So now I'm going to find out how to put this PFF mock draft simulator. Now this might take a while. So I'm going to go all teams. This is going to be the 1st round. This is for all you guys that... Okay, I'm trying to see how I can... Hold on here. I want to be able to see the chat. That's the thing. Okay, there we go. I can see the chat now. Okay. So this might take a while because I'm doing all the picks, but I'm going to do a lot of detail here. Wow, we got 5 people on. Perfect timing. Let me know if this is kind of laggy or how this looks. I guess there's really nothing I can do. So number 1 overall, Bryce Young. I'm going to go Bryce Young just because like he scored a 98% on that quarterback IQ test. He's been a Heisman Trophy winner and candidate. I think overall he's the best. His size does scare me. I'm telling you right now, I would not be surprised if Stroud did go 1 tomorrow. I would not be overly surprised. I think Bryce Young goes 1, but I would not be overly surprised if Stroud goes number 1 tomorrow. So I am going to go Bryce Young. Number 2. Now, the fact that people actually think Will Levis is going to go number 2 is insane. How do you have Will Levis going number 2 overall? Oh, right. First off, I think Houston is going quarterback. I think they're going C.J. Stroud. But if you think Will Levis or Anthony Richardson is going to go over C.J. Stroud, you are insane. Will Levis threw 60% completion rate in college. He had like 2,500 yards. He looked terrible this year. Anthony Richardson, 53% completion rate, 2,500 yards. He had like 11 interceptions or something. If you actually think, I mean, look at C.J. Stroud's stats. I mean, 3,600 yards, 41 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. I mean, he has 85 touchdowns and 12 interceptions the last 2 years. And you guys think Will Levis is going to go before him? I don't even know how the Vegas Sportsbook has that. Okay, okay, for this draft. Also, is this draft what you would do? I think this is what was going to happen, not what I would do. This is what's going to happen in this draft. Jared, you think they pass on a quarterback and get one at 12? See, now they could do that, but the only thing is like now you're basically taking like all the control out of your hands, and you're like maybe one falls to us at 12, but one might not. Now you're stuck with oh my gosh, what is his name from Houston? I know his name is, but And then Eric Hansen, because Ohio State quarterbacks always suck. Yeah, they kind of have always sucked, but I don't know. I think Stroud's a little different. I mean, he has 88 touchdowns in the NFL this year, or in the NFL, in college the last 2 years. I think Stroud is going to go number 2. If Will Levis goes number 2 over CJ Stroud, Houston's screwed. They're going to be terrible. So I am going to go Stroud. Number 3, Arizona Cardinals. Now, also before I get into this, I'm not doing any trades. Obviously, there's going to be trades that happen tomorrow, but I'm not doing that just because I'm trying to get as many picks as I can right. Mel Kiper last year got 6 picks right. So I'm trying to do that. I'm trying to get 6 picks right. I'm trying to do as good as Mel Kiper this year. So I'm not doing any trades because that could screw up the whole thing, the whole board for me. So number 3, every OSU quarterback is different. Still never works. I mean, I don't know. I mean, Justin Fields is still in the process, even though I don't think he's that good. Who else has there been? Dwayne Haskins. Oh my gosh, Braxton Miller. Yeah, I guess they're not that good, but I don't know. I think Stroud. Would you be happy with Stroud going to the Lions? No. I don't know. If he's at 6 and Carter's gone, oh man, I don't know. That's a tough one for me. Because I don't want to throw off like what we got going on, because Goff is playing good. And that's basically telling them, like, hey, this is your last year and then you're out of here, no matter how good you do. Because we got CJ Stroud, we drafted him at 6. I don't want to. So I would say no, actually. I've changed my mind just because I'm not drafting a quarterback at 6 and having him sit for 2 years. Yeah, exactly, Crespo. Texas Tech quarterbacks were bad before Mahomes, right? So, like, just because all the Texas Tech quarterbacks are bad didn't mean Mahomes was going to be bad, right? So, but the only reason I say I don't want a quarterback this year is because I want Goff for 2 more years, and I don't want to sit a quarterback for 2 years. I'm not paying top rookie salary for 2 years and just not even use them. So I probably don't want quarterback, but back on track here. The Cardinals, I think with the Cardinals, they might trade, but if they're not trading, the reason I don't think they're going to trade is they got a new head coach, and I don't think the first move he's going to want to do as a brand new head coach is make a trade and pass up on Will Anderson, who's been arguably the best defender in college the last 2 years. Right? I don't think they want to mess that up. He's already a goon as it is. He's already getting crap as it is, the Cardinals head coach right now, that he's going to be an awful coach. So I think they're going to just stay safe, and I think they're going to go Will Anderson. Now the Colts. I don't know what's going to happen. I think the Colts have to take a quarterback, though. I think they absolutely have to take a quarterback. They have no one. They have Gardner Minshew right now. I think they're going to have to take a quarterback. Some might say Anthony Richardson. Some might say Hendon Hooker. I'm thinking they're going Will Levis. I don't know about you guys, but Will Levis just looks like a Colts quarterback. Like, ever since I've made mock drafts, every mock draft I've had, Will Levis has gone to Indianapolis for me. He just looks like a Colts quarterback. He's really weird. He eats bananas with the peel on, and he puts mayonnaise in his coffee. Titans trade up. Yeah, so Titans could trade up. Actually, on FanDuel, I think the Titans were the favorite to get Anthony Richardson at, I think, plus 250. And I could totally see that happening. But I think the Colts are going to take Will Levis. I've heard they're really high on Will Levis too. And like I said, my gut feeling is telling me Will Levis. I might even bet. I would maybe like even bet that. That's just like one of those gut feelings I got. So I'm going to go Will Levis. So this is where it gets interesting. So almost not every mock, but a lot of mocks have Jalen Carter going to Seattle. And I'm going to tell you why that is not going to happen. I don't know why this does not get talked about at all. I haven't seen this anywhere. I didn't even see when this dude got signed. Draymond Jones, defensive tackle in the Broncos, this offseason, got signed to Seattle for a 3-year, $51 million deal. So And they have nobody on the edge. Seattle has nobody for edge rushers. They just signed a defensive tackle to $51 million. Why would they take another defensive tackle? I understand the argument that he is just a generational talent, which, yeah, they could take him for that. But I think they're going to go edge here. They need edge. They just signed a defensive tackle to $51 million. And I don't know why that is never mentioned at all in any of these mock drafts or these shows. They just signed a dude for an absurd amount of money. And I'm thinking they're going to go with the edge who absolutely bullied people this year. Absolutely bullied people. 50 quarterback pressures. He has the highest ceiling out of any edge. He has a higher ceiling than Will Anderson just based off his talent. I mean, I don't know why he's fallen so far in PFF. He's fallen this week, but I mean, the dude's 6'6", 270 pounds. I mean, he's an absolute beast, and I don't think Seattle needs a defensive tackle. I think they're going to go edge. They could go quarterback, too. They could go Richardson because Geno's getting paid all his money this year. The way his contract is structured, so he's guaranteed $40 million in his contract. Well, he's getting paid 27.5 of it this first season. So they could go Richardson too and let him sit behind Geno and then push Geno out the door. So I could see that happening, but I think they do go Tyree Wilson. Crespo says Titans, I think, trade up for Richardson. I actually think he would do well there. Let him sit behind Tannehill. They have a good run game to lean on. I agree. And my dad, Eric Hansen, said he agrees in the chat too. I could see that totally happening. If I had to make trades, I probably would have. If I would have made trades in the draft, I probably would have did that. But I'm not, because I don't want to screw things up. But I definitely could see that happen. I think he will succeed in that offense if he goes there. And then, like I mentioned earlier, why Carter goes to Detroit. We absolutely need him. Say Carter's gone, though. Say it goes Young, Stroud, Anderson, Carter. I think that's the worst case scenario for us. Now, I prefer Devon Witherspoon or Christian Gonzalez. And then after those two, I would go Tyree Wilson, I would say. But 5 people in the chat, who would you take if Stroud, Young, Anderson, and Carter and Levis went the top 5? Who are you taking? I don't even know how many Lions fans we got in here, so I don't know how many Lions fans answers we're going to get. Can I type in the chat? Who do you take at 6 if Carter and Anderson? See if that sends. Okay. Do you take Devon Witherspoon? Do you take Gonzalez? Or do you take Tyree Wilson? I'm going one of the top corners if those two guys are gone. Some people argue quarterback. Some people argue I've seen Bijan Robinson, which I don't really want to do at 6. I think I'd only take him at 18. But let me know what you guys think in the chat. Not a Lions fan, but Gonzalez. I could definitely see Gonzalez. I love the way he plays. I just think I'm not a big fan of how he tackles. It's one thing he struggles with. But Witherspoon is a little grabby. So I'm going to go Carter here. Now, the Las Vegas Raiders, I think they got to go cornerback here. Their defensive back room is terrible. I think their pass coverage last year ranked 27th in the league. I don't think they're going to go offense. I've seen some where they go offensive tackle. But, I mean, I just don't think they need it as much as defensive back. I mean, they got Derek Carr, Josh Jacobs, Devontae Adams, Hunter Renfrow. I think their offense is going to be just fine. And this is a deep tackle class. They could probably always get one in the second. So I think they're going to go defensive back for sure. And I got Witherspoon ranked higher. I could see Witherspoon or Gonzalez going at 7. I'm not sure which one. So the Atlanta Falcons are kind of an interesting pick. Originally, I had them going edge. But the more I thought about it, I just think that they need a defensive back so badly. Not so badly. Not so badly. They got Jesse Bates and they got AJ Terrell. and then they just got Okuda. The thing with Okuda, though, is he's on his last year contract. And honestly, if you watch a Lions game, Okuda's so on and off, and more than often, he's off. I mean, at the end of the year, he got benched. He got benched. Not a lot of people know that. He got benched at the end of the year. And the fact we even got a 5th round pick for him instead of letting him play like crap again this year and just benching him, we got a 5th round pick and we saved 10 mil. So I think Atlanta is going to need another cornerback. Okuda's probably going to be gone unless somehow he plays lights out. And I think Gonzalez is just too good of a player not to take her here. Just kind of the best player available type of deal. And I'm going to take him. Daniel says, trade the 6th pick and Swift for King Henry. I am not a fan of that, to be honest. Alex Nazier, what is up, dude? So you can either watch me talk like this on Instagram, or you can go on the YouTube. I'm doing a live mock right now. So yeah, you're only gonna see my face like this. But what's up? Thanks for joining the live. Yeah, Daniel, trade the 6th pick for Swift and King Henry. Jared, they go receiver. Got to give Carr some weapons. Man, they got the best receiver in the league, man. And they're getting Hunter Renfrow back. The route god. I think they got to go. I think Gonzalez is just too good of a prospect not to take. But back to you, Daniel. So if we traded them, are we getting the 11th pick and Derrick Henry? Like, is Detroit going to get the 6th? And then, are we trading the 6th to Tennessee and Swift, but we don't get their 11th, or we just get King Henry and we don't have a 1st round pick till 18 now? And the thing with that, I don't want to pay Derrick Henry his contract. I don't. He was hurt last year. I really don't want to pay him. I'd rather we just pay David Montgomery. I don't really like that idea. Oh yeah, Spoil, you're right. My bad, guys. It's not David Carr anymore. Oh my God, Derek Carr, not David Carr. Derek Carr. It's Jimmy G. I think the Raiders are going to be just fine. I think they got to go corner. But on to the Bears. I know Bears fans want Jalen Carter really badly. They want Jalen Carter very badly. I know a few Bears fans, and I've seen online that they want Jalen Carter bad. But I think it's complete garbage. It's hot trash right now. They have just been hurt. If not a tackle, I could see them going Smith Njigba. I don't know if he's there when Fields played. Yeah, Daniel, just a hot. But Henry behind. But have to end. I want to cut off Alex Nazier here, but it's actually the 18th pick. Actually, trading. Close the any better. I'm not gonna start until you guys say my Dang. Dang. This sucks. I don't even know if you guys can hear me right now. But if you guys can hear me good, just put like a thumbs up or say something in the chat. Because I don't really know how good I sound. Hmm. Okay, sounds good now. Okay, well, my video might be laggy, but if it doesn't sound good, just put something in the chat. Daniel, text me again. Appreciate that. Alex Nazier. I love Swift, but I feel he has a few injury issues, and we have a bad Montgomery, so I think we could also possibly get a player for Swift along the trade back. I wouldn't mind trading Swift as long as we get another running back. Obviously, trade anybody except Craig Reynolds. So we're gonna have to trade someone if we don't get Swift. But back to Chicago, I think they got to take a lineman. I'm gonna go with the hometown guy, Peter Skronsky, out of Northwestern, really versatile tackle. So, Philadelphia Eagles. This is where Bijan Robinson is going to go. Reason being, Eagles roster is best in the NFL to me. I can afford to be a little dangerous in this draft. I think Bijan is their guy. I think they gotta. I mean, Bijan in the offense could. He is a weapon on offense. The dude is nuts. He's a great receiver. He's a great running back. He runs hard. He's 6 foot. Like I said, I would love, like Alex Nazier said, if we could trade Swift and maybe get this pick and get him, but I think top 10. So I think him on the Eagles would be really dangerous. I think so. I know Crespo said earlier in the chat that they could see the Tennessee right now. I am not a fan of Anthony Richardson. Give him a year, which you did say. Like Tannehill has, I think he has a year left on his contract. Let Richardson develop. Richardson in the NFL right now, the game's too. He'd probably have a lot of interceptions, and the Titans would suck. You just got to. I love the potential on him. It's just that he really wasn't not that good in college. He just had like 5 really crazy highlight plays. But I think Tennessee, I think he could, or they could trade up for him. You anything? That sucks. I'm gonna put in the chat on the. Okay. Oh shoot, did I drop the F-bomb on here? I don't know if you guys heard that, but I did swear a little bit while the mic came off. Crap. I thought it cut off. Okay, so is this even live right now? I don't even know if this is live right now. If you guys are in this, put something in the comments. I don't even know if I'm live. It says I'm live. I'm gonna go back and get back to where I was. And then I went Stroud, Will Anderson. Can you guys hear me? Put something in the chat if the quality's good now. Where is he? Yes, you are live. Let's go. We are back. I turned off the Wi-Fi on my phone. My Wi-Fi is not always the greatest. So we're gonna get back to this now. No one heard. Okay, awesome. I didn't freak out really, but I thought I was gone. Okay, Bijan Robinson. Then I had Anthony Richardson. Okay, back on track. If you're in the chat, put something so I know who I'm talking to. Only 2 people, so I might be one of them. It might be just me and you, Daniel. Drafting Stroud, I think Bro and Jamar Chase. For I tried closing another thing. Man, dude, this sucks, dude. I'm having a good time too. This is fun. Stupid Wi-Fi, dude. I got everything shut off in my house too right now. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna try shut off one more thing. Okay. All right. I think I'm back live. I might be good. Okay, I'm good. Sweet. All right. So, if you guys didn't hear me, I think if well, I got to share my screen. You guys can't see. Okay, it's pretty cool right now. Thanks. Sweet. Okay, so I think sharing my screen kind of makes it laggy, but I think if Houston can get Stroud and Najigba, they win this first round. You get that kind of that Burrow Chase effect with the Bengals. I think if they get him, and Houston has a pick, I think, at 33. So, I mean, get your two offensive weapons and you go defense. This is a deep edge rushing class. So I think if Houston can get Najigba and Stroud, that's why I think they gotta take Stroud at 2. Because then you have at least a chance of getting Najigba. So I think they're gonna go Najigba here. Hopefully this doesn't freaking lag like insane. Okay, I think we're good. I got 3 people on. Sweet. Green Bay Packers. So I guess you could say Green Bay's kind of in the rebuild mode now. They need everything. I mean, look at their needs: quarterback, receiver, tight end, defensive line, safety. I think the best choice for Green Bay here would to get an edge rusher. They don't really have a great edge rusher. So go out, get your young guy, your young stud that's going to be kind of the core of your defense for your defensive line for years to come. And I'm telling you, I would not be surprised if Myles Murphy goes really high tomorrow. I'm telling you, I'm high on Myles Murphy. I think he's one of the better edge rushers in this draft. Some people got him going low. Some people got him going high. All right. Crespo, I'm on your team now. The New England Patriots. It's kind of a toss-up. What I think you guys are going to do, you could go skip the Packers. Who cares? Well, I already did it. I don't really care about them. But the Patriots. All right, first off, before I say what I'm going to Spo, in the chat, if you were looking at this board right now, who are you taking? It's kind of weird interacting in the chat because when I'm talking, it takes like 5 seconds till it gets to you guys. So, Crespo, if you're looking at, if you're Bill Belichick, who are you taking? Or who do you want to take if the board looks like this? Because I think it very well could look like this tomorrow. Waiting for a comment. Paris Johnson, and that is exactly who I have you guys taking on my mock draft is Paris Johnson. The dude is probably the best build of a tackle in this draft. And now some people say he could go to like earlier before Skoronski, but I think Skoronski will go before him. I think Paris Johnson would probably be a great pick for you guys. Get that offensive line back up. Beef it up for Mac Jones, Ramondre. You got Juju. I think Paris Johnson would be too hard to pass up on right there. He's got great feet work for a guy his size. I think that'd be – no, it's not the sexy pick, taking a tackle, but I think it's just the most safe pick. Also, I know you're high on Deontay Banks. That could be a pick too. Some people say Porter Jr. Actually, I've seen a lot of drafts where I actually was watching a TikTok before I started this live. Bijan to New England. I don't know if that would happen. I don't think he's going to go that far, but I guess I could see that. But I like Ramondre Stevenson. So I think tackle's probably the safest. And I don't hate trading down and taking Johnston. Yeah. 14 is kind of weird. You're kind of in a weird spot because, but I mean, I think you're going to get a pretty elite player at 14, but it's not like obviously one of the top guys in the draft. Now, Paris Johnson, you could make a case for. I think you got to stay and take Paris Johnson. But I could see trading down from 14. You mentioned earlier trading up from 14. Because, I mean, your division's getting so tough. I mean, Rodgers, you got Tua, you got Josh Allen and the Bills. You guys got to, if you want to compete for a division title, you might have to trade up and make a move for someone. But New York Jets, no, I debated going tight end here, or I debated going tackle. Now, tight end, I was thinking because of Aaron Rodgers and just give him another weapon. Give him another weapon. But also, your best weapon, arguably, is your left tackle. And the Jets could definitely help out with their offensive line. And with Breece Hall as a running back, get that run game going. I think taking a tackle here for New England makes the most sense. Or not New England, New York. And I like Broderick Jones out of Georgia. Washington Commanders. Now, some people I've seen have them taking Hendon Hooker here. I don't think that's going to happen. I think they probably go corner because they really don't have the best corners on their team. Washington's kind of a weird pick for me, but I think Washington will go Joey Porter Jr. Pittsburgh Steelers. A lot of people say they need a cornerback, which I kind of think they do, but they did pick up Patrick Peterson. And I think he's going to kind of be a filler role for this year. And I think they need to get that offensive line back. I mean, their offense last year was terrible. Absolutely terrible last year. They need to get a tackle to protect Kenny Pickett and get that run game back for Najee Harris. The Steelers' offense was bad last year. I think they got Patrick Peterson kind of to fill in for losing Cam Sutton. I could see him going corner, but I think they'll go tackle, and I think they're going to go Darnell Wright. Man, I kind of want to go live on Instagram again just to get the notification out there that I am going live. Discard video. Checking connection. Okay, I'm live on Instagram now. If the Wi-Fi starts getting spotty, I'll go back to I'll shut the Instagram live off. All right, so Detroit Lions, you guys already know. I think if this is the board, I think we go Lucas Van Ness. Like I said, he's a pretty versatile edge. He can play inside, outside. He can drop into coverage. He's got a mean bull rush on him, and I think he's just kind of a Dan Campbell guy. That's all I'm going to say about that. Oh, what's up? Marty Larkin joined live. You missed it. I had the Bears just pick Peter Skoronski. I'm going live on YouTube. I exposed in the chat. But I just got it on here to tell people if you want to look at my face while I talk. Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Now, this is a move that I think could happen. This is my bold prediction. I think they're going to go Hendon Hooker. A lot of people say Hendon Hooker is going to go second round, but I think Hendon Hooker might be better than Anthony Richardson. He had 58 touchdowns the last 2 years and 5 interceptions. Now, I know he's old, and he's coming off the ACL. I'm more worried about the ACL, but I think that Tampa's a good position for him to, or a good spot for him to go, just because he could sit behind Baker for a year and then play. And Hooker, someone asked him, like, oh, what about your age? He said, listen, my age, being old, that's a advantage for me. I'm more mature than all these rookies. And I kind of thought that too. So I think someone is going to make a move on Hendon Hooker in this first round, let him sit for a year. And I think that is going to be Tampa Bay. And then Seattle. They took Tyree Wilson. Now, they could go Kalijah Kancey here, but I don't think they will. I think what they'll do, I'm going to turn off the Instagram live because that's probably just going to mess with the live on YouTube. Anyways, what I think they'll do is I think they're going to end up going Osiris Torrance out of Florida as a guard. And my reasoning for that is, number one, they need a guard. They got Kenneth Walker running the ball. And they're facing that Niners defense, that Niners D-line twice a year. They got to get that old line up to shape if they want to compete for a division title or just compete against the Niners in general. And I think Osiris Torrance, he is a round one prospect, and I think Seattle will pull the trigger on him at 20 here. I think it just makes sense overall for their offense. All right. Los Angeles Chargers. I think the thing with them, they really struggled with injuries last year, especially at the wide receiver position. I mean, Josh Palmer was their number one the whole time. Really. Keenan Allen dealt with injuries forever. Mike Williams was hurt. I think they got to go and get a young stud receiver. I think right here is where you go get that bigger body frame for Justin Herbert. And I think Quentin Johnson would actually be probably a really good fit in Los Angeles. And they need to do something. If they don't win a playoff game, Brandon Staley, their coach, is going to be fired this year. So I think they got to get like an impact player right away. I think Quentin Johnson would fit well in that offense. So Baltimore, a lot of people have Baltimore taking a receiver. They did sign Odell Beckham, and then they got Duvernay, and they got what's the other guy's name? I forgot the other guy's name they got. But then they got Mark Andrews too. I think they're gonna go Nolan Smith here. They need an edge rusher, and Nolan Smith is one of those guys. Spo, they need Zay Flowers, not Johnston. Yeah, I could see that, but I just like Johnston. He's got a bigger frame. I could see him, him and Herbert having that duo for years to come. I think he's just more of a threat. I guess you can move Zay Flowers around more. But back to Baltimore. They could go receiver here, but I think they would go edge. They got not many holes on defense, but I'd say edge is one of the only holes. Maybe cornerback, like it says on here, but I think Nolan Smith, I've seen him go as high as 8 in these mock drafts. Him falling to 22 might not even happen. So if he's here, I think they got to take him here. I think he's going to fall a little bit just because of his size. Minnesota Vikings. Blaha, I don't even think you're watching this because I see you typing in the group chat. But maybe you're watching with Spo. But this is where I talked to you the other night. Originally, I thought, all right, I'm going to give Minnesota a receiver. And I like what he said to me. He said, like, I'm going to let Osborne develop. Like, our secondary was dead last year. And then I was thinking, yeah, you guys were dead last. And you got rid of the guy that got the most interceptions on your team. So now you got even worse. Like, they got to go. They got to go cornerback. Spo says, not to keep you on the Chargers, but I think Flowers is the guy they need. Mike Williams is already a threat guy, which is what Johnson is. That is a good point. That is a good point. I didn't really think about that. Keenan Allen's kind of getting old. I don't know how old Mike Williams is or what his contract is, but Mike Williams is, I guess, that vertical threat kind of guy. Zay Flowers probably would be good on them. You know what? I can't switch it now, but I guess I could see that too, for sure. But Minnesota, Blaha the other night said Deonte Banks is a stud. That's what he wants, and I'm going to give him to you. I think it makes sense here. Get your cornerback. You got rid of Patrick Peterson, the veteran leader that got the most interceptions on your team, and you haven't addressed the secondary at all. Who's your safety that got hurt, though? I think it's Lewis Sign. He might be back, but, I mean, we haven't even seen nothing from him, really. So I think you're going to go DB, and I think Deonte Banks would be a steal, really, at 23. Jacksonville, they just signed a defensive tackle I just saw on my Twitter. But so maybe they won't go defensive line. They just signed a defensive tackle to some pretty big money. I think Jacksonville, though, they don't really need receiver because they got Zay Flowers. They got Calvin Ridley coming back. They got Evan Ingram. They really don't need much on the offense, like a guard or a center. But there's really not one I'd take in the first round, so I think they'll go defensive back. I think the best one here is Brian Branch. And Brian Branch is honestly a guy I could see going top 15. He's ranked 16th on my big board, so I could see him going top 15. I just think the cornerbacks are really good in this class, and he's safety, kind of plays nickel on the inside. I don't know. He is versatile, but I don't know if I'd rather have him than any of the top 4 corners. So I think he's probably the 5th DB to go, and Jacksonville needs DB. So I'd have him going to Jacksonville. So, Spo, this is where I'm having the Giants take Zay Flowers. And my reasoning behind this, now I could see Quentin Johnston, like if we swapped, like you said. Great pick for the Vikings and Banks. Guy's a stud. He ran a 4.36, 6 foot. Pretty tough at the line of scrimmage, too. So that would be a good pick. I actually hope he doesn't go to Minnesota because I'm going to have to play him twice a year. Or had to watch him twice a year play the Lions. But this is where I'm going to have the New York Giants take Zay Flowers. And my reason behind this is because Johnston's more of a stretch the field type of guy, where Zay Flowers isn't. Now, he's that 5'9" build, play in the slot. You can move him around. You can get open. And the reason I have him going to New York is Daniel Jones. The fact the Giants made the playoffs last year with Darius Slayton and Daniel Jones throwing the ball, Darius Slayton being their top receiver, is insane. Like, they have to go receiver. The Giants have to go receiver first round. And I think Zay Flowers would be perfect because he can kind of play in that slot role, kind of like an Amon-Ra St. Brown, right? Doesn't go too far deep, but can get open and get those short passes that Daniel Jones are good at. But if Zay Flowers does go to Los Angeles Chargers, probably goes Quentin Johnston here. But I think the Giants got to go receiver, and I think the Chargers got to go receiver. I think they just dealt with too many injuries last year, and Keenan Allen's getting old. I'm not sure how old Mike Williams is, but we'll go Zay Flowers. And then Dallas Cowboys. Now, I was conflicted on who I wanted to pick here. I'm either going Kincaid or I'm going Michael Mayer. I wasn't sure which one I wanted to do because they did lose Dalton Schultz to the Houston Texans. And that dude was a pretty big piece of their offense last year. So I'm going to have them go tight end here to kind of replace that. I think at first I was high on Kincaid, which I still am, but I think Michael Mayer is just the overall better tight end. He's better at blocking and he can still receive. Where Kincaid, better routes, better receiver, kind of more like a Kelsey type of guy, like relatable kind of. But, Dallas has got Pollard and they got that run game. I think adding Michael Mayer is just going to help that run game as well. And they picked up Brandon Cooks and they got CeeDee Lamb. So I think having a good run block tight end who can also catch would maybe be a little more beneficial. Spo says, yeah, Giants need a receiver. Chargers do too. I think Mike Williams is relatively young, but you're right. They need a third option. Yeah, I agree. But I'm going to have Michael Mayer go to Notre Dame, go to Dallas. Buffalo Bills. And I put this in my draft guide, the PDF I'm going to release. The fact the Bills last year did not draft Kenneth Walker is insane. I remember Crespo, me and you talked about this last year. I said, man, you imagine Kenneth Walker on that Bills offense? And they didn't do it. I don't remember who they picked. And I bet they're regretting that right now because that's the one thing the Bills lack is a run game. Their run game is Josh Allen, who got hurt last year. And Sean McDermott, the Bills head coach, and Josh Allen have both come out and said, I got to kind of taper back on the running. Josh Allen actually said something along the lines like, I've always viewed myself as a football player, but I'm getting to the point in my career where I need to be a quarterback. I need to stop running as much. So I think they're going to go running back. I think they're going to go Jahmyr Gibbs. You can't have Devin Singletary being your number one running back or whatever his name, Zach or the other Cook brother. Or is it Zach Moss? I don't remember. But I'm going to have him going Jahmyr Gibbs. And just to pull this up, dude's pretty solid. He had almost 1,000 yards. And I think they said, his suddenness. He's also a receiving back, too. A little bit about his size. That's the thing. He's 5'9", but the dude runs hard. Yeah, Crespo, I do got him taking Gibbs. He is a stud. He just runs hard. He's really explosive. And for you as a New England fan, I wouldn't want them taking Gibbs. Because that is the one thing they lack is a run game. The fact that they did not take Kenneth Walker or Breece Hall last year is beyond me. Now, this is a pick that, I'm actually, if it happened, I'd be excited to watch with the Cincinnati Bengals. I got them taking Dalton Kincaid. They lost Hayden Hurst. If you threw Dalton Kincaid in this offense with Jamar Chase and T. Higgins and Tyler Boyd, Dalton Kincaid can stretch the field. He runs great routes. Give him Joe Burrow passing the ball. This offense is going to be tough. Now, like it says on here, they could use some defense. Someone on the line, maybe a DB. I do like Emmanuel Forbes, but I think Kincaid is a really great talent that could really succeed with a good quarterback thrown to him and other people, kind of taking the heat off him and Jamar Chase. And, he's going to have linebackers covering him. This dude's a great receiving tight end. I really think he'd be dangerous on Cincinnati's offense. I think it would be a pretty exciting pick if they did get him. Some people got Kincaid going in the top 15. I just think tight end's an overvalued position sometimes in the draft. But Cincinnati's, again, one of those kind of offense or one of those rosters which can afford to take some risk. And I think taking Kincaid in the first round would be beneficial to them, especially with Joe Burrow and that offense that they got. So I'm going to go Dalton Kincaid. This is a part of the draft, like these last 3 picks. I honestly did not really know what to do. There's really no good guards or centers here for them. They could go Emmanuel Forbes, but I had them go Calijah Kancey. I think if Calijah Kancey does fall this far, I think you almost have to take him just from what he's done. I'll pull up his stats right here. 8 sacks this year, 9 sacks last year. I mean, that is impressive for a defensive tackle. Defensive tackles are really not always known for their pass rushing. He is, but that also could be his downfall. I don't know if he could be a 3-down lineman. The Saints, they still have Cam Jordan, so that's why I didn't go edge. It says they need defensive interior, and I've looked up a couple things on some Saints websites, and it says they do lack defensive interior. So I think if Kancey falls to them, they got to go Kancey. My dad is calling me right now. I'm not going to answer that. What the heck? He stopped listening to the stream. What the heck? But if I answer him, it's probably going to shut off the live stream, so I'm just going to shut that off. But I'm going to have the Saints take Kancey. Kancey could go as high as 15. Who knows? Top 12. I don't even know. He's ranked 14th overall on PFF. I think I got him at 17 or something on my big board. I don't remember. But I think Kancey to the Saints would be a good pickup for them. I don't know if he'll fall that far, but it is where it is. It is where it is at this point in my mock draft. Philadelphia Eagles. I'm trying to remember honestly what I picked for them. I think I went Mazi Smith. If I'm correct, I think I had them go Mazi Smith. If not, it's the end of the draft. I really don't care, but I'm gonna have them go Mazi Smith. I could see them going Emmanuel Forbes too. He is a little undersized though, but apparently the Eagles want to have asked the Lions about trading up to 6 for Jalen Carter. So hey, we take him. You don't. Maybe they'll pick up a guy at 30 for their defensive interior. They already took Bijan Robinson. Let's take more of a safe pick, get a defensive tackle. And I think Mazi Smith, he's been rising on some people's boards. They will take him. And then with the Chiefs, they lost Juju. I think they got to go receiver. I mean, Mahomes is going to make anyone around him good. Now, Jordan Addison, I don't know if he's necessarily got that wide receiver 1 build, but he really doesn't have to because Kelsey's the number 1 receiver on Kansas City. So I think Jordan Addison going to Kansas City would make sense. I think he's going to be good. They got Kadarius Toney as well. And I think Mahomes just makes anyone good around. I mean, this is the end of the draft. I really don't know what Kansas City's going to take. It's so hard to tell at this point. They could go Emmanuel Forbes. I mean, I don't even know. They could go any of these guys, but I'm going to go Jordan Addison. I think Kansas City probably needs to get a receiver since they lost Juju, so I'll go Jordan Addison. But, and I believe that is what I put on my draft guide PDF that I'm going to upload after this live stream. And it is grading. This is my final mock draft of the year. I'm hoping to do as good as Mel Kiper tomorrow. He got 6 right last year, so anywhere within 6. I really do think Young and Stroud are going to go, and I'm telling you, I think Carter is going to go at 6. I'm really, honestly, I'm pretty confident in my top 6 picks. I think I mean, you never know with this draft, really, but I am pretty confident with the top 6. Witherspoon and Gonzalez, I think, could go either way. Bijan could fall, but I think Philly has the firepower and the good enough offense to take Bijan at 10. They can afford it. Richardson, I think, does fall a little bit in this draft. I think he's a work in progress. I think he's going to fall. Myles Murphy, I'm high on. That's kind of like my bold prediction is Myles Murphy going high tomorrow. Watch out for Myles Murphy when he gets called. And then Lucas Van Ness to the Lions. I am a big fan of Lucas Van Ness. If he's there at 18, I would love to take him. But if Myles Murphy's there, I'd say take Myles Murphy. Any other bold picks? Deonte Banks to the Vikings. That's a good one. Honestly, Spo, at the Patriots get Paris Johnson. I'd be pretty ecstatic for that. I've seen Paris Johnson go number 4 overall. I seen a mock draft by some guy at CBS where they had the Raiders trade up to get Paris Johnson at number 4. So if he's at 14, I'd be pretty happy with that as a Patriot fan. But yeah, this is my mock draft. I'm gonna stop sharing this, but I am gonna upload it later tonight after this to all my social media pages. Yeah, so now I guess I'm gonna hold on for a second here. You're gonna have to look at my face. I'm gonna pull up FanDuel and we can look up the draft betting odds. Now, I don't know if this is going to shut down my live stream because it might be like, yeah, Parrot Johnson, yeah, would be a steal at 14. I don't know if this is going to like shut down my live stream because it's like tracking my location, but if not, it ends right now, whatever. I made it an hour and a half talking by myself. Well, with you guys in the chat too, I guess. So I'm going to share this with y'all so you can see. I want to be able to see the chat though for YouTube. So hold on. There we go. So best bets for tomorrow. I am telling you right now, if you are 21 and you can bet, and you have an account on FanDuel, even if you don't, make an account on FanDuel tonight. This is such great value. CJ Stroud at plus 410 to go number 2 overall. Please. That's my best bet for the weekend. CJ Stroud plus 410. Houston has to take him. They have to take him. I don't know how Will Levis is the favorite. That is insane. That's not going to happen. I'm telling you, that's not going to happen. I know I'm not an NFL scout. I know I'm not an NFL GM, but it just makes sense. I think you got to go CJ Stroud. I think you got to. That's my bold prediction. I'd put as much money on it as how much you want to win. Right? If you want to win $4, only put $1 on it. You want to win 4,000, put 1,000 on it. Right? Like I think that is almost a lock for me. But looking at all the other stuff, Bryce Young minus 2,000. If you guys see anything on this FanDuel, you think that's a good pick, let me know in the comments. I'll let you know what I think about it. I mean, Bryce Young, I'm not even really going to look at that. Number 2 overall, I mean, Will Levis and Tyree Wilson are projected to go over C.J. Stroud and Will Anderson. And, I mean, even Jalen Carter. I mean, really? I don't know. It just doesn't really make sense to me. Let's look at number 3. Will Anderson. So, Will Anderson's projected to go over Tyree Wilson at 3, but not 2. I got Will Anderson go number 3. I agree. I think someone could trade up for someone at that spot. Number 4, I think Will Levis is going number 4. That's my gut feeling this whole time. Yeah, he's the favorite, plus 130. Number 5, Seattle. Oof. I'm telling you guys. I am telling you guys. Tyree Wilson might be the pick right there. Plus 1,000? That's good value. I think he could go there. I don't think Seattle needs a defensive tackle. I don't know why that's being not talked about. They signed a dude for $50+ million. The fact that he is plus, or Jalen Carter's minus 180. I mean, I get he is a general talent, but they just signed a guy for 50+ and they have no edge rushers. And if Tyree Wilson's available, man, plus 1,000. I mean, that's worth it right there to throw $1 on. You win 10. So, I mean, that's a pretty good bet. I'd throw $1 on that, if at least $1, $10. I mean, you win $100. Number 6 overall, I'm sure Devon Witherspoon plus 100, then Jalen Carter. I think we're going to get Carter. I really do. I think we're going to get Jalen Carter tomorrow. I think it's pretty, well, I don't know if it's for sure, but I feel like it is. Number 10 overall, I got Bijan going, and Bijan's plus 600. I think Philly will pull the trigger if he's there. He might not even make it to 10, but I think Bijan will go there. Plus 600 is pretty good value, too, for a team that can afford to take a running back. All right, what are these now? Ooh, top 3 overall picks in exact order. Man, Tyree Wilson, number 2. Man, you're going to take a guy at number 2 that has had injury, has a foot injury. I get that he is a freak of nature and he has the highest ceiling, but I don't know how that's the best odds. I could see Will Anderson going 3, but not Tyree Wilson. I think the best bet, if I had to bet this, he's not even on here. 1 Young. I need 2 Stroud. Where's 2 Stroud? 1 Young, 2 Stroud, 3 and plus 1,600. Plus 1,600. That's crazy. That is crazy. Plus 1,600. I think that's how it's going to go. The only way I don't see this happening is if someone trades with Arizona. And it's plus 1,600. I think that's... Let me know what you guys think in the comments. I might sound crazy right now, but I think that's a pretty good bet. Plus 1,600 for the best quarterback. Houston is desperate need of a quarterback. And how do you not take CJ Stroud? And then Will Anderson, the best defensive player in this draft, arguably going to Arizona, who needs an edge rusher? I don't know. I think plus 16, that's great odds. And then draft combos, 2 running backs and 5 quarterbacks. Good odds, but man, Houston does some stupid stuff sometimes. Yes, they do. But man, dude, they got a new coach in there, DeMeco Ryan. That seems like a pretty smart dude. I don't know, dude. I think an awesome. I can already see it, like them getting Stroud and Njigba. That'd be scary. I mean, they could be in contention for the freaking AFC South if they got Stroud and Njigba. I think they need a quarterback, and I think this, like I said, this draft class is so deep in edge rushers that they can afford to go get the franchise dude, get your receiver at 12, or get your edge at 12, but get Njigba at 12, and then they got to pick at like 33. Get an edge rusher there. There's plenty of them, right? So, yeah, true. Their GM is an idiot. But, I mean, you get DeMeco Ryan in there from San Francisco. He's got to have a say in something. I think that was a great odds. Yeah, Stroud. I mean, you couldn't have a better start to an offense this year than Stroud and JSN. That'd be the best for an offense. Bijan Robinson top 10, Jahmyr Gibbs. I kind of like that. I kind of like that too. I don't know. I'm not in love with these, but I'm telling you, this one right here, plus 1,600. Heard JMO's betting on Bryce Young to go first overall. Yeah, he probably is, but if you bet $100, you're going to win 2 cents. Also, DeMeco Ryan's defensive guy. He needs good edge play for his defense to work. That's true, but there's so many good edge rushers in this draft, and they're picking at 12. So, you could go CJ Stroud and then get like a Miles Murphy. I just think they're in such a need for a franchise guy, and CJ Stroud is that guy. Look at him in the Georgia game. You're telling me Will Levis, not that getting back on the other quarterbacks, but people that think Will Levis, you're telling me Will Levis or Anthony Richardson would have done as good as CJ Stroud in that game against Georgia? No, not even close. I think Stroud is too valuable to pass up at 2 when you have Davis Mills playing quarterback. I finally thought of his name. When you have Davis Mills playing quarterback. Really? I just don't see it. Tyree Wilson's the favorite. Come on now. I'm telling you, if you guys can sports bet, please bet. I'm telling you, please bet that. Trust me, I think Stroud's the best pick there. Stroud is what I would do. I think they do something else, though. Yeah, I guess you could say that, too. If me and you, we agree they should do that, but they might not. But I think, man, dude, that 1,600, I'd just sprinkle a little cash on it if you got some. Those are crazy odds. I'm going to skip these draft combinations. That was too much. 6 and 18. Okay, this is interesting. I looked at this the other day. I haven't looked at Anthony Richardson. I'm going to skip that. CJ Stroud. Man, dude. It'd be tough if Stroud fell to 6 and we didn't take him. That'd be so tough for me not to say, pull the trigger, Brad Holmes. It really would. Watching Stroud in that national championship game was something. If he could play like that in the NFL, man, you got a franchise guy in your hands. And the most valuable thing in the NFL is a quarterback, NFL rookie quarterback on a low contract deal, rookie deal. That's really good. I mean, that is the most valuable thing in sports, dang near. You could argue that's the most valuable thing in sports is a rookie contract deal. So CJ Stroud, I don't think Stroud's going to go there, so I'm not even going to look at that. Devon Witherspoon is the favorite right now. So Witherspoon and Forbes, I don't think that makes sense. Brisset, maybe. Witherspoon and Cansey. So this looks like the favorite, plus 800. I really don't like this, because I could see us going Gonzalez. So I wouldn't really want to bet on that. If I had to bet, the only thing I think that is a lock for 6, if they're there for Detroit, would be Carter. So, like, if Carter's gone, we don't really have a lock at 6. It could go numerous ways. It could go Witherspoon. It could go Gonzalez. It could go Tyree Wilson. It could go any of those guys. So I don't know if I'd really want to bet on this unless my first pick was Jalen Carter. Because I think if Carter's there, we'll definitely take him. Carter and Forbes. I think 18 might be a little too high for Forbes just by his size. Carter Banks. That could happen. I could see Carter. If we got Jalen Carter and Deonte Banks, I'd be freaking, yeah. I'd be really happy tomorrow night. I'm going to the Woodward Sports draft party tomorrow night. I bet that would be crazy. Lions fans would be going crazy if we got Carter and Banks. I wouldn't take that bet at 1,600. It's like that for a reason. Vegas knows. That is true. Vegas does know. But do they? Do they know? I don't know, dude. I don't know. I mean, that is crazy. I mean, a little money, just sprinkle a little money on it, like $5. I think that's good value. Carter Forbes, Carter Porter. I love it. We got Carter and then Porter or Banks. That'd be great. Will Anderson. Some people say Will Anderson might follow us. I don't think that's even possible. Carter and Branch. Also, I have not mentioned in this podcast, there has been reports that the Lions are one of the 6 teams that have asked Arizona about a possible trade-up for Will Anderson. If that is true, that pick I just said, Young, Stroud, Anderson would still work. Yeah, exactly, Crespo. Vegas knows, but also odds flip because of a Reddit post. No one knows with this draft. Very true. That is a Reddit post brought Will Levis from like plus 4,000 to plus 400 like that. So, no one really does know. But if the Lions did trade up for Will Anderson at 3, I'd be ecstatic too. Just depends on what we give up. We might have to give up like a second rounder and then give them 6 if they're not high on Anderson. Carter and Robinson, I don't think that happens. Carter and Kincaid. If the Lions take a tight end tomorrow, I'm going to be so mad. Even if these guys are studs, we have such a bad history. Bro, they know. Vegas doesn't mess around. It's money. I know they don't, but this is so hard to pick. It's almost like picking a perfect bracket in March Madness. I don't know, man. I don't know. I think there's at least value in plus 1,600 with those 3 guys. There's at least value in it. Okay. Man, there's so many things you can bet on. I haven't even looked at this today. To be a top 5 pick, Levis, Stroud, Carter. I don't really like those. To be a first round pick, Will McDonald, 9. I don't have him. He's from Iowa State. I don't think he goes first round. Hendon Hooker, minus 250. Wow. Man, I got a bad cough. Sorry about that. That's loud on the mic. Round 1 specials. So 5. Wow. So they do think Hendon Hooker is going first round. Number of running backs, they think Jahmyr Gibbs is going. So tight ends, I do think it is going to be under unless Darnell Washington went, which he could just because he's a freak of nature. Total number of receivers over 4. So would that be Najigba, Quentin Johnston, Jordan Addison, Zay Flowers? I could see that happening. That's actually not a bad bet. Minus 166. Defensive backs, 5.5. Ooh, so what do we got here? We got Witherspoon, Gonzalez, Porter, Banks, Branch. You could say Forbes. would be 6. So really, if you think Forbes or maybe Cam Smith too. So either that's basically if you think Cam Smith or Forbes will go in the first round. They're saying minus 192 probably. Man, offensive lineman 6.5. Holy crap. Skronsky, Johnson, or Johnson Jr. Who else is there? If it was plus 800, I'd feel good about it. Plus 1,600? Dude, I know, but that's the value of it. It's crazy. Sprinkle a little bit of money. Come on, $5. What does that even win you? What is $5 here? Yeah, I'm sorry. I am obsessed with this pick. Man, I got a bad cough. Jeez. Bro, 5 to win 80. You don't think they count Branch as a defensive back? Huh. Oh, jeez. Holy crap. Maybe they do, but I think they're referencing corner. Yeah, I wonder if it says. Doesn't even say. Huh. When I think of defensive back, I think of corner and safety. But maybe not. Offense. Pick by position. First receiver, Njigba. I think that's going to happen. I think probably Mayer too. Just the overall better build for tight end. First offensive lineman. Wow. I got Skronsky on one. He's plus 270. I kind of like that. Johnson Jr. Yeah, so really, Swell, if Johnson Jr. does fall to you, that is a steal. Position of Mr. Irrelevant. That's just if you want to bet on something to watch the entire draft for or watch on Saturday. I think that Saturday is the last day. Might be Sunday. Wow, I'm getting almost on 2 hours here. I'm going to end the show in a little bit. Team to draft Njigba. Who's the favorite? The Packers, really. I think Houston takes him. Houston's at 12. Green Bay's at 13. I think Houston will take him. They just lost Brandon Cooks. They have no one. Can anybody in this chat name a receiver on the Texans right now? Anyone. And if they go Stroud and Njigba's there is no way they don't take him. Anyone who takes Stroud, they could trade up for Njigba. Say the Colts take him at Stroud at 4. They could trade up, get anything, give it all up for Njigba. You know, that is dangerous when you have a quarterback and wow, Nico Collins, John Mechie, I know Hall. Wow, man, you really know Texans football. But yeah, I mean, these guys aren't studs. Team to draft Jahmyr Gibbs. I had Buffalo. Buffalo's not even. Man, I kind of like the Buffalo value plus 1,600. Quentin Johnston. I had the Chargers. Look at that. Look at that. I didn't even look at this today either. Chiefs. I think that'd be a pretty good pick for the Chiefs. Giants. Who's we got in here? Bijan. Eagles plus 600. The Falcons, really? They got Tyler Algier last year. The Texans got JSN won't be there at 13. Packers will take Flowers. Really? So are you saying like JSN's gone and then the Packers take Flowers? I don't know the Packers receiver because, I mean, they got Romeo Doubs or whatever, and then they got Christian Watson. And they got, well, they did lose their tight end. They could go tight end, but I don't know if they pick a tight end that high. And there's some good tight ends in the second round. You know what? Bold prediction. Because I think the Packers, with that second pick they got from the Jets, they're picking at like 40 now. I could see Darnell Washington going to Green Bay, which I would hate because I think he's going to be good. Hendon Hooker. Minnesota Vikings. Where is Colton Blaha? I don't think you're in this chat, but the Minnesota Vikings are the favorite. Detroit's actually on there at plus 1,100. I don't know. I picked them to go to Tampa. That's plus, man, these plus 1,600 bets I just love. Michael Mayer, I said Dallas. They're the favorite too. Sweet. Maybe I'm onto something here, guys. And then Stetson Bennett. Show more. Is there a seventh? Wow, 7th round, not drafted even. Well, yeah, that's really all I got for you guys. I guess I'll stick around for a little bit if you guys got any questions. Time for mailbag. If you watch Woodward Sports, they always do a mailbag at the end. I guess I could do a mailbag here with one person. If anyone's got any questions, drop them in the chat right now. Otherwise, I'm going to end the live stream. Almost on 2 hours here. Give it a few minutes here. I'll probably end it. I mean, I only got one guy. But I'll stop sharing my screen. But yeah, I only got one guy here right now, one viewer. So if you're watching this video tomorrow and you watch the whole thing, I'm going to keep it up on YouTube. I really appreciate it. I mean, it's a really long 2-hour podcast. Had a little trouble in the middle. Do you want to come play euchre? That I will. I will come play euchre. I got 3 people on here. All right. I will come play euchre after this, actually. I might have to get a coffee, though. I'm kind of tired. But no, I had fun doing this, so I don't know how much more content I'm going to go hard on, because after the draft, there's really not much except the Tigers baseball. How was my day? My day was actually kind of boring. I've been waiting to do this all day. I was preparing some stuff for this. That's pretty common. How was your day? But no, I enjoyed this. This is going to be posted, so I'm going to also post my draft guide PDF. There's stuff in there I didn't maybe talk about in here, especially with the draft picks. I put some more stuff. I probably missed some stuff with individual teams. I went quicker than I did on the draft guide, I'd say. And then I have a few more Lions picks later on. Other than that, I think I got most of it, but I went really hard on this. It's something I truly do love doing. But like I said, I don't know how hard I'm going to go or what me and Daniel are going to do for podcasts, because he's kind of busy right now. And then after the draft, there's really not much to talk about football-wise. I mean, I'll maybe make some TikToks and stuff about news that happens and mini camp and stuff like that. But I really do like doing this on live because you got to chat. But anyways, that's it. Thank you guys for watching. I actually had a really good time with this, and I hope you guys did too. And tomorrow is the big day. One more sleep. Just one more sleep. But yeah, see you guys.